Just tell me when you do it.
We are on. We are live.
What's up, guys? We're going ahead for a minute or so before 9, and we have to do that to get the link and to kind of set things up. This will be on the permanent video, but this is before 9 o'clock. So hope you guys are doing well. We've got some pretty cool stuff to show you, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But I'll tell you one thing. SIG P365, it was funny. I talked to the guys at SIG and got some real inside info on this. This is going to be interesting where they're going with some of the problems that they were having before. But again, like I say, we'll get on it. And so, Sis, tell me when it's time.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I posted it on. So now we're just waiting for people to join.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. We have a lot to put together out here, so we may or may not get to it all. So we'll see. But anyway, welcome, guys, to Patreon live chat. And we, of course, we want to take your questions. That's one of the biggest things that I want to do with you guys right here. I mean, you can see a lot of this stuff, but this is kind of an inside to what I saw at NRA. And Sarah Mack was with me. And in fact, Mrs. Such, my wife Shannon, and Grant were also there. Unfortunately, Seth had to work, but we had just a fantastic time. And, you know, regardless of some of the things that were going on in the background, which I'm sure many of you've heard, you know, the industry is there. It's the one place that people can just come from the public. You know, when you go to SHOT Show, you're really talking to people that it's usually dealers and people that are in the industry, and they have to have an invite. And it's one of the things about the NRA is you can go and actually go to the SIG Sauer booth or go to Smith & Wesson or Glock, and you can actually talk to the people there at Glock. You know, you're not talking to some dealers that are handling Glock. So it's really pretty cool. I mean, and they do know quite a bit. It's just a great time. Now it's packed. It's packed for sure. So, but, you know, just for that reason alone, I highly recommend going. And it's definitely, you know, one of those things it's just, I think it was 15 acres of show space, wasn't it?
Guns and gear, 15 acres.
Yeah. And so it was a lot of walking, but it was definitely a lot of fun. One thing that we did when we came on before we got there was my wife's always wanted to go to the Ark, which is it's a reproduction or of Noah's Ark, the original Noah's Ark, and it's a life-size 3 stories. It's over a football field long, and you can go in it. And I mean, that was a really cool, thing. They really put a lot of money and just creative energy into that place. That was really cool, wasn't it?
That was awesome.
Yeah. So if you ever get a chance, if you're up near I believe it's right there, you know, below Cincinnati. It's
in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's in Kentucky. So it's before you get there. But that's definitely something to experience in the Creation Museum and all that, if you're into that. Now, we're definitely into that. And so it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. So we're walking and walking and walking back and forth through this Ark. I mean, it's huge. And then, you know, I all of a sudden realized we were up on the 3rd floor, and I realized that I've got NRA coming up, you know, the next 3 days. And so, it was fun.
Got a leg workout.
Yeah, there was a lot of energy. Okay, I see you guys starting to pop in. So say
hey.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for coming by. We do have a lot to talk about. When we do show the video, we actually kind of turned it on a couple of minutes early to make sure that we could get the link and everything. So it'll start in there. But we will be making this a permanent video on Patreon where you can go back and watch the video if you want. We're going to go for as long, you know, we won't go over an hour, but typically I just thought maybe we would just do a 30-minute time slot from 9 to 9:30. But last week we had so many questions, so many people getting involved in it. It was an hour. And so we're just open. If it starts to slow down and kind of taper off, you know, we'll probably just go ahead and close it up. But I'm here for you guys. Sarah Mack's here for you guys. And so again, if you have any questions, jump in and we'll kind of answer them. Now, one big thing that I want to talk about, we're going to talk about some of the things I saw at NRA and some of the new things that I personally just liked. Do I have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Brandon asked, how about those new High Point pistols? Sweet, huh?
Yeah, actually, High Point is stepping up. I mean, there is no doubt about it. For the money, they're cheap, but they're rugged, and honestly, they're accurate. Surprisingly enough, they're clunky. They are definitely not ergonomic whatsoever. It's funny. I even told the guys at High Point, because I had a friend of mine that was standing there, and the guy from Fit and Fire, Mark, and he was standing there, and I just had to start talking to him, and then got to talking to the guys at High Point. And John Taffin, who was a writer for Guns and Ammo for years, he did a study he did a review on it. It was in the magazine article, and he said he pulled out his custom 1911s, and he said the High Point matched him in accuracy. In reliability, it matched him as long as it was full metal jacket. He said, so I give it a 10 for reliability, I give it a 10 for accuracy, and he said I give it a 0 for style. So anyway, they're great. They're great guns for what they are.
Yeah. Jim Waldron asked,
hey Jim,
while you were at the NRA show, did you hear anything about the release of the CZ-P10S?
Well, I actually have done a review on the CZ-P10S. And I don't know are they not available yet? I don't know, because they kind of sent one to me a little ahead of time. That's one thing. I've worked with CZ for a long time, and they'll send a pistol, and I can either send it back or get a discounted price on it. And of course, I kept it because the P10C and P10S and the P10F, which I'd really like to get, just excellent triggers, excellent handgun, the ergonomics, everything. So I don't know exactly when a date, if they haven't already released. I didn't know. I'll tell you guys, it's so big, it's hard to keep up with everything. But one thing that I do want to talk about is the SIG P365. And, for a while here, I've been kind of like, I love it, but it's had some issues, and mine's been flawless. This one, we put over 1,200 rounds through it. And yet, it's just been, I'm going to go ahead and show you the guns unloaded. But this to me is the ultimate concealed carry option. 10 rounds, or you can get the higher capacity magazine of 12 rounds. It's so small, it shoots well. I mean, it's just a great option for concealed carry. And then, we started seeing a lot of people talking about the problems that they were having with the strikers breaking, and some of the springs were having some issues. So anyway, I had an opportunity to talk to SIG. In fact, it was because of my video. They saw the video and they asked if they could use a segment of it. And I said, sure, whatever. And then I said, okay, what is the deal with these pistols? Okay, so one thing he said was the early SIG P365s, they had, of course, like springs and things like that. They have them, they're MEM parts. And that's what they were doing. This was a MEM part, manufactured part, the striker. And there was a batch. It was only a few, but there was a batch that was not up to spec. In fact, it was a little bit short, and it was one of the striker was just, or I think it was one of the engagement surfaces was a little bit short. And so it would cause the gun to malfunction because it just wasn't quite up to that size. Since that time, they have fixed it. He assured me, he said, everything is done. What we're going to do is, in fact, we're working on a plan right now to do something to show the P365 that these are the things that have been done and why you can have some confidence in these pistols again. Now, there's a lot of guys out there that love them, and they're like, you're crazy. These things are just fantastic. This one's fantastic. In fact, I was talking to Hickok 45 one night. We were at a cigar bar, and we went, he and I and John, we sat there for a couple of hours and just talking about the P365, how much he loved it. And, we were talking about just how these guns have just been great for us. So I think that the P365 looks like we're going to be able to really recommend this as a viable carry option. I know a lot of times I did the video and it was gleaming because the gun was just incredible. And then all of a sudden, some things were coming out that were problems. So I think that that we're going to see some good things with the P365, which I think is such a game changer. And like I've said a million times. So, that is one thing I'm really excited about. And that was actually post NRA. Another thing that I'm really excited about, this is something a little different, but if you haven't tried the Fostech Echo 2 trigger, they just came out with the Echo Sport. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, these things are the closest you're going to get to full automatic ever. without getting a full automatic. I mean, this is fantastic. Now, I haven't tried this one. In fact, Judd at Falls Tech, when I was walking by the booth, he was packed out. And he said, "Hey, Such, here, man." He just handed it to me. He said, "Check it out." He says, "Whatever. You don't have to even do a review." I was like, dude, I want to check this out. So this is a much cheaper version. I think it's like $350 and $350. The original Echo 2s are $450. Now, this video that I did, it was not on YouTube anymore because YouTube, started demonetizing it and actually would give me a strike for something like that. So it is on GetZone. Maybe I'll bring it up. I'll put a link for you to check out the original. But this one is supposed to work just like the original. And it has a lever, a little bit of a different type lever, I think, that's actually better. So we're gonna find out. But this to me is pretty exciting if you like that kind of stuff. Me, I like it. So again, guys, we are taking questions. I see a lot of people piping in. Great to see that. I will go back in and kind of look and see if we missed something, just to kind of say hello. So it's another thing. And then this is something, if you are a Glock or a Smith & Wesson M&P guy, one thing that I've always hated, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop it, make sure it's unloaded. You take to dry fire, you take your magazine, you drop it, and then to dry fire, well, the dead trigger, because you've engaged the striker, and you have to either remove your magazine or not have a magazine and recock it, and then you can pull the trigger again. And so that's the way I've dry fired for a long time. As I was leaving in fact, it was one of the last booths at the NRA. We were we were walking out pretty much. And I just happened to walk by these guys, and it's dryfiremag.com. It's this, middle-aged couple, a little bit older couple. And they had these on the table. And what these do, this is pretty cool because I've done this for so long. I mean, I have been doing this for so long, especially with the Glock. Now they do. Whoops, about to drop it. Can't edit that.
That was a good catch.
Like that catch. Okay, so first thing you do is go ahead and make sure that the striker has been cocked, and so the trigger will be up. Drop your magazine in, so when you pull the trigger, it kicks it back out. Now, it's not quite the same as a regular trigger, but it will help when you're aligning your sights and getting that sight picture and the action of your finger. But I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm just kind of crazy, but I do a lot of dry firing, and this is, to me, it's just revolutionary, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know why I got so excited about it, but I love it. And it was funny because these are not cheap. They're about $100. But it was funny because when I was at the NRA, they had them on sale for $50, and I thought, wow, $50, man, that's, but I went ahead and bought it. Then I realized that the price was $100 regularly, or $99. But you can get on the Dry Fire Mag website, dryfiremag.com. Check it out. It's just a cool small company that's producing these. It'll help with your training. Guys, dry firing is one of the best ways to increase a lot of things about your shooting, your technique, being able to feel that trigger, and so.
Try here. Let me see if you can actually see it.
Dryfiremag.com. Isn't that right? Okay.
Yeah, dryfiremag.com.
And I'll have the information down below if you're interested, guy. And this is pretty much for Glocks and for Smith & Wesson M&Ps. And a lot of the different, even 10, 45, and then the 9mm, all that. Kind of cool. Anything coming up?
Yeah, just now, when were you able to speak to someone from Zenith? I've been hearing grumbling about them not keeping up with orders.
No, I didn't. In fact, I haven't really had any kind of relationship with Zenith for a while because the funny thing is, guys, is, sometimes I'll work with different marketing people. That's like Glock. I mean, in fact, I got to where I didn't even want to work with Glock. I would not talk to them. I didn't want to have anything to do with them. They were just a pain in the butt to even talk to. And you got to buy the pistol. So it's not like it was a big deal, but it's just kind of nice to be able to get new releases. That's the big deal for me. But these marketing guys seem to be switching around all the time. So it's really hard to keep good relationships, or at least, where they know you. But I went by the Zenith booth and just looked, but I'll bet you anything that those Z5Ks or all the different variants that they're putting together are in high demand. I think they're just excellent. I love mine. I've got the Z5P, and it's just a great option. So that's the reason why I think that maybe, I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. So, you never know. But anyway, another thing that I did find, and just keep me updated. Again, guys, we're here for your questions, but
We're
we
here
can,
for you.
but we're here for you. Y'all are here for me too. We're all here together. But I don't know, I'm kind of acting silly.
It's okay.
But I'll tell you, this is something else that was pretty cool. HK VP9L, the long slide kit. And this is something that they just released for the VP9. And I'll tell you guys, if you haven't really done a lot with the VP9, if you're looking for a really cool striker fire pistol, this has got to be one of my very favorites. I've had a lot of experience and investment in Glock. Is one of the reasons why I'm such a Glock guy. But when I pick up the VP9, it just molds right in my hand. I love the trigger. I love the way it shoots. And with this slide, the barrel configure, it has a match barrel. It's just really cool. They got the slide cuts here that also act as serrations, fiber optic sight. They do have it's a silicone ring or O-ring that actually helps to lock up the barrel with the slide to make it, even more accurate. This is just a cool option. We had a big time with this today, didn't we? We shot it quite a bit.
Yeah, it was fun to shoot, and it was easy to shoot too.
Right. Yeah, I noticed when you were even talking about this on the way home, talking about how it just seemed to stay right in the right spot.
Yeah. I mean, I've shot 9mm before, but that didn't feel like normal 9mm. It just felt like easier than.
I think a lot of it has to do with that ergonomics.
I think so too.
Now, one thing I think that, and maybe they'll do this on another version, is I think they should have incorporated a RMR cut. That's probably the only thing that I'm a little bit like, well, but it's still, it's just a great piece. Now, these aren't cheap. I think at Palmetto State Armory, they were like $329, but on the HK website, they were like $475. And I'm like, well, that's almost as much as the VP9 itself. But anyway, just another thing I thought was really cool. I'm a big fan of HK, have been for a long time. So people are just smiling and popping in.
They're just saying, looks like I'm going to have to make some room in my safe.
Here we are. We're going to say on some stuff. And the thing, guys, is there is a lot out there. Honestly, there's so much out there. You can't keep up with everything.
Yeah, just go to the NRA and you'll see all of it.
Yeah, no kidding. Scopes and, Holosun. That was one thing. In fact, the guy from Holosun, I was walking and he said, "Hey, Suits, come by the booth." And I was like, okay. And so I went by it, and I've done some stuff. I know Nothing Fancy is really big on the Holosun optics, and I've done some stuff with them, and it's the same company that makes primary arms. So it's a good solid optic all the way around. But some of their new red dot optics, they are some pretty cool designs and very well made. So and if you're looking for something that's more toward the budget line or that medium price, but yet good quality, because to me, guys, a budget means that it's good, still good quality, just lower price. If it's cheap, don't ever buy that. Don't ever, I hate it when I go to the gun shows and I find this really cheap, optics and cheap things, that are kind of no name. I'm telling you guys, it won't hold zero. It just has problems. The mounts typically won't hold up. You're better off to stay clear from a lot of that kind of stuff. So it's one of the reasons why I like to bring to you guys a lot of stuff to me that I've tested, that I've tried. But I just don't go for the real cheap budget stuff. I've used some things that have held up okay. Well, it's funny. We were talking today about the LA police gear. It's just this Molly bag. Now, somebody told me they're making it again, but it's just this little bag with Molly all the way around it. I've had it since 2006. We take it to the range every trip, and it's full of mags, and that thing just keeps holding up. So anyway, yes, I got a question.
Yes. How does the long slide VP9 stack up against the Glock 34?
Well, probably really close. I think, of course, the Glock 34 has the opening in the top, but I think this slide may actually be a little lighter than the 34, the Glock slide. than the VP9 slide. But I like the fiber optic fronts. I like the rear. It's a adjustable rear sight, and but I haven't shot them side by side, so that remains to be seen. What's really cool though is there's a lot of companies that are coming out with these long slides. I'm telling you guys, I know I've said it, but we live in the golden age of firearms right now. We have so many choices. So really, you can fine tune your preference. It's funny though. I've never been a big fan of the Glock 34s and 35s. I know that's probably sacrilege, but to me, with the slide mass, when it comes back, it has more muzzle flip to it than the standard, G17 or G19. So, but that's just me. Maybe I'm not holding my mouth right. I gotta hold it a certain way. Now there is, and guys, again, if you got questions, pop in. Oh yes, we got one.
Yeah, I just saw it. Sorry. Any idea when the Walther PPQ Q5 Match SF Pro will start shipping?
No, I don't know. I did go by Walther, and because I know a guy over there that's really cool, Vincent Mann. He's just a great guy, and we didn't even talk about. We talked about just whatever. We didn't talk about it. I'd really like to get one, not necessarily the new ones, but the new the Match Pro. I mean, those things are just beautiful, and with the metal, it's just real high quality. Now, I did talk to the guys at RX. Those guys have that Alpha and the Delta. Hopefully, I'm going to be getting a Delta coming up. That is a great looking firearm, very smooth, just a good quality firearm. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I had a chill. Have you used a DPM spring set on any pistol? I saw how they just came out with an HK G3 buffer.
Nope, I have not. I have not done. No. I'm just hadn't gotten to that. DP. Well, what is it again? That's pretty bad.
A DPM spring set on any pistol.
DPM. I keep thinking of DPMS. DPM. No, I haven't tried that. I was talking to John Carilla at Active Self Protection. He does. That's a great channel, by the way. And we were talking about the HK VP30. I mean the P30, and he was talking about a certain trigger. And so I got right on there, and I was going to order it, and it was out of stock. So there's so many things out there, guys. So many things. It's hard to keep up with everything. All right, I am going to show you something, and I'm getting a lot of people that are like, "Oh, not you, Such."
It's a question for me.
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite rifle pistol you've reviewed so far? I don't know. This is hard. I mean, I like a lot of them.
Well, like I said over on Facebook, what is the one that you picked out recently?
Oh, well, the Canic Elite.
Yeah, the TP9 Elite. And
that was fun to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny now because I've just told her, I said, look, you have a lot of choices. Decide what you want to, what would you like? And she goes, I like the Canics. And so we took a number of them out, and she shot them side by side, and we shot some other ones. But you really like that Canic, the Elite. That was your favorite.
And then as far as rifles go, I don't know. I've shot so many. I mean, today though, like if I would say like the one that's on like the top of my mind right now is I shot the Galil, and that it just felt really good. I don't know. And I just was just hitting. I just felt like a pro.
Yeah. And it was the 7.62 by 3.9. I put the new Midwest Industries rail handguard. It made such a difference. To that rifle. The original Galils, excuse me, they have that thicker, they have it so they can protect the handguards for the Picatinny rail right here. And it just makes it thick. And it kind of gives it a unique look. But as soon as I really got it, I wanted to change it out. And so Midwest Industries was kind enough to send this handguard for me to change it out. And so we were testing it today. And she was shooting it, and it was just so smooth the way it just fires. I mean, it's such a great firearm, the Galil.
And it's funny you were talking about cheap things. Like when I shot this, it's just like how things like feel heavy and like quality, like the trigger and everything. That's just what it felt like. So I guess that also helped.
Yeah, the trigger's really nice because you pull it and then it'll stop almost like a 2-stage trigger. You bring it to a wall, and then it's a definite crisp break. It's one of the things I really like about it. We've done quite a bit with this. I love it, and we'll be doing some more, of course, with the handguard coming up. And one of the things about any kind of installation, YouTube just demonetizes it. I know the Brownells bipod video, and I knew they would because it's a part. I'm adding it on, but I uploaded the video and it was demonetized. I disputed it. They came back and said it's confirmed, and it was fine because I thought, what, you guys are here helping it. In fact, the past 4 videos that I've uploaded, the past 4, only one of them is demonetized, and
demonetized or monetized?
I mean, monetized. Only one. Thank you. Only one is monetized. And so, and I'm going to tell you guys that it's kind of discouraging. And then I go, oh, you know what? Patreon. They helped me with that. So thank you. And I'm not going to get into all that because you guys know that's why you're here. But I just want to say thank you. I mean, it definitely means a lot on a daily basis what you guys are doing. And, I just want to make sure you realize that. Now, one thing that's kind of unique, and again, like I was getting ready to say, something that some people, I posted this on Instagram and people are like, what the heck? Oh, not you, Such. This is the Flux brace. Now, I'll tell you a little story about it. My good friend John actually started talking about this brace, and he was like, and I was like, whatever, I mean, I don't know. And he brought it, we had dinner. And so he brought it down. Yeah, I'm not going to flop it out yet.
I was just like,
she knows what this thing's going to do. He brought it down to dinner one night. And so I was looking at it. And I took a picture and put it up on Instagram. But when I saw it, I was like, honestly, I was very impressed. And one of the things, it has a little lever. And you hit it, and it brings out a stock. Sarah Mac thinks you can get whopped with it. Now, you may say, what in the world? Why in the world? And, really, for most applications, why? Well, for one thing, it is a brace. It does give you a little bit of a, grip here if you want to shoot, for what it's intended. But the big thing for this is it gives you a lot more range with a handgun. 50 yards is typically about what you're going to get with most handguns, 9mm. Not that you can't hit at 100 yards, but for most people, hitting consistently at a 100-yard target is difficult. And so this, you can consistently hit 100-yard targets with this braced, with it out. Whether you put it next to your cheek or occasionally on your shoulder, occasionally. But, this, and really they recommend this running with an RMR. It's super sturdy. I mean, the arms on this thing are great. I'm not recommending this for everybody. I don't think everybody ought to run out and buy one of these. But for guys that, are a little more, that tactical minded, I think that it does give you some options. Now, to close it, you have to press down, and I just pop it, and then it just, and then it pops and snaps back in. They are making a holster that this thing will fit in. And there is a light thing at the front. Really.
Gracious.
Well, you can shoot it just like this. In fact, we were doing it today.
Yeah.
We were shooting it just like this.
Really good concealed carry.
No, it wouldn't be much of a concealed carry. But maybe if you were with Secret Service or something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we got a question.
Yes. Brandon asked, with PSA being in your own backyard, how come we haven't seen a factory tour suit style? Sorry. Maybe something similar to what you did with Classic Firearms.
Yeah, that Classic Firearms video, I just noticed it went to my #1 video. It's almost at 4 million views. I mean, it was crazy. They are moving their facility. They want me to come back and do one. I don't think it's going to do as well as that one, though. I think the mystique of that whole video was just the crates and the stuff piled up. I loved it. PSA, I've been talking to the guys at PSA and Josiah McCullum, who is the brother of the owner, and he wants me to come down. He wants me to come and do a factory tour because I am in South Carolina. Most of their stuff's down in the low part of the state, which is always a good place to go. I love that Charleston area, and even Columbia going through
Charleston.
there. Yeah. There's a lot of their facilities. So that is coming. I'm not sure when. So, but yeah, PSA is a detriment to my budget. Anytime I go to over on Woodruff Road, which we have, that's where our PSA is. I hop over to PSA, and then across the street is Cabela's, and then right down is Academy, and so it's just it just sucks my money out.
Yeah, and then one of our favorite restaurants.
Yeah, Chewy's, one of our favorite restaurants. But yeah, that is coming up maybe this summer. We've been kind of talking about it. So I'm really looking forward to it, because one of the things about PSA is that, or Palmetto State Armory, is that they produce every part for the AR-15, bolts, barrels, bolt carriers. Everything, which is unique because most companies are just putting parts together, or having other companies, So, but that was one of the things PSA wanted to do, was to bring everything together. Jamin McCullum, who is the owner and he was a wounded vet. I mean, he started the company because he was wounded and actually had some issues. But one of the things that he said is I want to make sure that there are so many AR-15s out there that even if they ban them, it's not going to make a difference with freedom. Ever since I've heard that, man, I've been really pro PSA. So, it's a great, I'm looking forward to it. So, anyway, so we've talked about a bunch of different things. One thing that I am going to be doing, in fact, maybe even this week, hopefully, is the Enforce lights. I do a lot with Olight, guys, but I need to break it up some, but that's beside the point. I've done Enforce. I've done a couple of different reviews on Enforce a few years ago, but just never had an opportunity really to do anything. And so they just sent a few lights for me to check out, and I've got some of their newer models. And so we've got a couple of the pistol lights here. There's a couple of different sizes, and then also their rifle lights right here. And they're just good solid lights. In fact, I've done a little quick video on this that'll be coming up on Instagram. But they're just good solid lights. They've really upped the lumens on some of these. That was one of the things, and really they wanted to keep the lumens down because they didn't want to flash, especially inside. It can blind. You get that white blindness. So you can't see what's going on. So their lumens are about 400 lumens or so for these pistol lights. But they've really upped their rifle lights. So we'll be doing a review on that. I think that's a great option for lights. Of course, I do a lot with Olight, and really that's what is on my G19X right now. But that doesn't mean that the Enforce lights are not great. Of course, you got, Streamlight, Surefire. Those lights are excellent. But, they're pricey. They're expensive. And honestly, Olight has higher lumens. So, it's just one of those things. But, one thing, and I'll just tell you guys, because you're my bros, you got my back. With Olight. Oh, by the way, Olight doesn't pay me. I know there's been some controversy just recently with some stuff that came out, and Olight never has sent me a huge check to do a review. In fact, for years, I was doing Olight reviews for the flashlight. They would send me a flashlight. I would do a review on it, and that was it. And AdSense would make it worth my while. Not the light. I mean, the light's worth about, $50, even though they're great. And I do. The Olight has been in fact, here's an old S10 right here. These have been our number one lights because we choose that. But they never have paid me to do a review. Now, they do an affiliate to where, if you click on the link, I do get a small percentage, and it makes it nice. It definitely helps. It helps us, to stay in business. But it's not, we're not paid to do the review. So I just want to kind of clear that up a little bit because that's just not what we do. Anyway, so we have a question.
Yes. Chase Kelly.
Hey, Chase.
I know you like the JRA rifles, Don. Even though another level of expense, have you ever tested a Fulton Armory M14. I know Tim at Military Arms Channel likes his.
Yeah, Fulton Armory does really excellent firearms. I mean, they do an excellent job. In fact, they got in touch with me a couple of years ago and kind of wanted to do something, and we just never, I don't know, we just never did. I think I sent them a message, and we just never talked. We never really got to a certain point. But I've always thought that, and thought highly of Fulton Armory. They do a good job. In fact, I remember years and years ago when Shotgun News was a big deal, when it used to be this thick, and Fulton Armory would have all this stuff in there. I used to always dream about, getting one of their Garands. Actually, I think they do. And so anyway, yeah, Fulton Armory, I know, has been around for a long time. They have a really solid name. But to say I'm going to maybe do something, I don't know. We'll have to see. So anyway, is there any questions? You got questions, comments? You got
Just
answers?
comments.
Maybe you have answers. Anybody has an answer? You can drop that in.
Brandon says he talked his 72-year-old father into buying one of PSA's.
One of their
AR-15, I'm assuming.
Awesome. And to me, especially, no matter what age you are, I mean, of course, to a certain point, when you're 6, 7, 8, taking an AR-15 and training them, or going all the way up to, even an older age, they're so mild and easy to shoot, and they're so capable. So I think it's one of those rifles, just excellent. What?
I just laugh at thinking about a 6-year-old trying to shoot an AR-15.
Well, you have to kind of help.
Yes, I know.
And we've done that.
Yeah.
You've done that.
Yeah.
And so,
It just sounds so funny.
So, yeah, I know. Yeah, we had some video, of you and Seth and Grant shooting AR. He was probably the boss. So, it was funny. But yeah, that's one thing that's been great is I know a couple of weeks ago, I took all 3 of my kids out to the range. Again, it's been a while since we've all 3 been out to the range. And so it's good to have them. Yes.
Brad Green.
Hey, Brad.
Do you think Enforce will offer a laser/light combo for pistols?
I don't know. We can talk to him about it. I know that Viridian does a lot of that. Viridian has some of the best lasers out there as far as distance wise, but I don't know. We'll have to find out. Maybe we can ask him. I love the one thing I do love, and it's so different, is this polymer housing. I mean, it's a little bit quieter, and it's just, if you bump it on something, it's not that metal feel to it.
Smooth looking.
You do just screw it in though. I know with the rifle one though, it has a little bit of a tensioning screw that you can just undo, push, and open for Picatinny rail, but that it fits well. But I don't know. We'll see. Actually, guys, to be honest, I'll just tell you, I was supposed to go up to an Enforce event that they were doing. It was on the night, and I'll tell you, NRA, I was so dogged out after the trip, and really last week I had a hard time getting anything done. And so I just said, I can't make it. I just couldn't do it. So, and Sarah Mack and I were heading up, but I just had to, it was really hurting what I do. I can't get to the different videos I need to do to make sure that, I don't know, but it was kind of sad because I really was looking forward to going. It was in Rhode Island. So, we could have flown up probably in a couple hours. It was going to take us 13 and a half to 14 hours to get up there. And, just couldn't make it, but I know she was glad. But anyway, I hate it because I really like those guys. They're just nice guys. So I am going to be doing the review, and I'm doing it for the flashlight because I'm going to help them out. They're not paying me to do it. I'm just doing it because I want to. And, try to do that. I like to do those things. That's the thing. And you guys allow me the opportunity to do that. Yes. Question.
James asked,
Hey,
do you
James.
do any hunting suits?
No, not in the past few years. I used to do a lot of deer hunting, quail, dove,
I've never been hunting.
Oh, don't even say that. I know it's been years. I mean, it's been years. I haven't even taken the kids only because of.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my. I'm like the worst dad of the year. No, I used to do a lot of hunting, and just kind of The guys that I used to hunt with, they moved, and just kind of lost track. Being down here in Greenville, in South Carolina, we have deer. We've seen up to 14 deer just in our front yard, and my son Seth has hit 3 deer with his car. 4 deer. In fact, he totaled his car. I mean, it was crazy. We used to call him the deer whisperer.
Yeah.
And they decimated my gardens when I had them down here. Now we've moved them into a fenced area, but decimated the gardens. And I've really wanted to get back into it. So it's one of the things that's high on my list. It's funny because I'm around guns all the time, but it's not really toward the hunting element. It's more toward, self-defense and shooting and survival. But survival is hunting is an important part. So hopefully maybe this fall we can get back really rocking into it. And I'll take Sis hunting and she can gut a deer.
Yes. Yes. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Oh, yay. Good. Well, I know what we can do here. We can take care of it.
Well, I had a guy tell me that he has shot the most deer that he's ever shot when he's taken his horse hunting with him, because he'll tie it to the bottom of the tree and then get up in the deer stand, and the deer just are attracted to the horse.
Oh,
I don't know why. I think it's funny. I'm like, what kind of deer are you?
Kind of like baiting that horse. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, that's another thing. She's really big into horses, and so she does a lot. In fact, we've got a horseback survival kit. It's actually a trail ride survival kit.
Yeah.
And that she's put together, and I've helped her kind of do some things, but we've got a whole thing we're doing, and she has her own channel. It's more toward horses, but we're going to be probably helping her with some firearm kind of stuff. So we'll see. And I know a lot of people have actually asked about Sarah Mac's perspective on self-defense for women, things like that. And that's probably something that we'll be incorporating, or she will be incorporating. It's funny because, I've been doing this since 2008, and they've been, parts of it, but yet, they're busy doing their thing, their work or whatever. And it's just been nice lately for them to kind of come back. I mean, personally, we've gone down to the range and shot, done stuff like that. But really, honestly, I don't feel like it was near enough. And so it's been great. I know she's really picked up on it, and it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah.
You handled that Galil like a boss today, I'll just say. But and those VP9s. But one thing I'm going to bring this up. I don't know how much more. Okay, we're doing good. One thing that I did with the SIG P365 when we first started, I was talking a little bit about this. And so sometimes people popping in and out. I just wanted to bring this back up. The P365 has had some issues originally, and it's kind of gotten a bad reputation. There's a lot of people that love it, that carry it a lot and have full confidence. I've shot over 1,200 rounds through this pistol, haven't had one problem. But because of all the stories and the internet chatter, I just lost confidence. And I've said it a number of times. But I talked to the guys at SIG, and some of the parts originally, some of the early parts, the strikers, there was a dimension with the engagement. And I can't remember if it was the sear engagement. I believe it was, where it was just a touch too short, and it was causing failures. It was causing the trigger to die. Once it was pulled, it was having some problems. And they were using a company because it was a MIM part. It was one of the smaller springs and one of the smaller parts. And they said they made a mistake by using that company. They fixed it. They got everything done. And the new pistols should be as reliable as anything on the market. In fact, he said, the guy from SIG told me that they have less problems with this pistol than any of their other pistols now, as far as pistols coming back. Because he said it's a very simple design. There's not a lot of parts. Being smaller, typically, you do have some issues. But this is what we're talking about. So one of the things that we're going to be doing coming up is going into some of that, and we're going to look at the SIG, and is this really, to me, can I recommend it? I can recommend it based on this pistol, but this is an example of one. But we're gonna find out. So there were some good things that were said, because I said I just want the real nitty gritty, and he gave it to me, so it was really good. Yes.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
The first is still referring to hunting, but Would Sarah take a bite of the heart of her first kill? Haha, just kidding.
I don't know. She might. Like an apple.
Mmm.
Like an apple. Woo.
And
Take
then,
after your mama.
yeah, I'm a heartbreaker.
Oh, yeah. That's the truth.
Ray asks, have you thought about doing any more mouse gun pocket pistol reviews?
Let me tell you, I had a dream about that. I know this is crazy, but I got quite a few. I got a bunch, and I went a little crazy. One thing I want to do is to pull out some of my all-time favorites and do just some of the big ones, or the big ones, some of the small ones. Do a video on some of my favorites and kind of bring them in and talk about some of the things about it. So yes, and I haven't really been looking too much lately for any. I know I had bought a lot a while back, but maybe this might get me started again. But yeah, I had a dream about mouse guns, and then all of a sudden I thought, wait a minute, I need to do a video on this. So yeah, looks like we're gonna be doing something coming up pretty soon, actually. So that's something that's gonna be fun to do. So yes, we will. All right. So we talked about the HK VP9 long slide. This is cool. We'll be doing something with it. Again, the dry fire mag for the Glock and the M&P, Smith & Wesson M&P. Drop it in. You know, if you're dry firing a lot and it pulls that trigger, it pops that trigger back. So while it doesn't really mimic your trigger control, it does give you something to side alignment, bringing it out, making a positive, instead of doing this every time, every time. So this to me is just kind of a cool option, dryfiremag.com. I'm just happened to be passing by at NRA and saw these and started talking. And this couple, the older couple that was there, they were so nice. And I just bought it. And then after I bought it, I said, look, I'm going to be talking a little bit about this on my YouTube channel, and gave them a card. So, and we're going to be doing something on it. So I just think it's cool. These are $99. They're not cheap, but it's a lot less expensive than going out and buying a bunch of ammunition all the time. And you can do this at home and save yourself some time. So just kind of a cool thing. I like it. So that's some things. And then of course the Flux brace, which again, guys, again, this is, to me, it's cool. I mean, this is super cool, especially in an SHTF situation. And you know me, I'm all about that. So I'm not all about it. I'm all about not having that.
Yeah,
but if it happens, I want to be prepared. And then the Echo Fostech, the new Sport, much lesser price, a lot of cool features. I like this. So, there was just a lot of things. And that was just a few things at NRA. There were so many different things.
That was only like 1 acre.
Oh, there is. Oh, the Henry. And I know I've kind of talked a little bit about this. One of the downsides for Henry, and one of the things that people complain more than anything else about with the Henry lever actions, is that there's no side loading gate. And they have just incorporated the side loading gate for certain models. And they'll be releasing, more and more as it comes along. But that was probably one of the biggest things at NRA. Because but what's really cool is that they're going to still have the tube option. So if you need to unload, you can just take that tube, you can dump them out instead of sitting there and racking them. So I thought that's just great. So that's coming, and that's going to be pretty cool. Henry, I love those rifles. I mean, they just make some of the most high quality lever action rifles on the market. Once you get that side loading gate, I don't know that anybody's going to be able to compete with them. At all. So, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. One of the first rifles I ever bought was a Marlin lever action 30 AS, and loved it. But that's before Freedom Group. So, I don't know. Just don't look. Man, somebody is texting me like crazy. And I thought, is that Shannon? I just want to make sure it wasn't Shannon. My wife's going to a concert tonight with one of her best friends.
She did?
So, yeah.
Oh,
and so I just wanted to kind of double check there. I could feel it vibrating in my pocket. But anyway, guys, you got any questions, feel free to jump in. If not, we're going to start to wrap things up and kind of get things rolling. I'll tell you, I really appreciate it. I see a lot of stuff over there. guys just commenting is cool. I love it. We love to see it. And I really appreciate Sarah Mack for setting up everything this evening. We spent a good portion of the day down at the range, and it got really warm. In fact, we
have a line.
we got we got a lot of sun today, which I love. And it's not quite hot yet, but yeah, it was good. It was good. We had a great day. Got a lot of things that we were wanting to do finished, and that's one of the things when the gun club that we're a member of. It's like 40 minutes away. So, it's kind of a trip down there, but it's worth it. It's a beautiful place. Yes.
Ray asked, any thoughts on the Ruger Wrangled?
Wrangler. Yeah.
Wranglers.
I mean, I haven't. In fact, here's the thing about Ruger. We went, and I said this, I think, on maybe the Facebook Live. Sarah Mack and I, we were going somewhere to a meet and greet. I think it was at Brownells, and we had like about 20 minutes. And so we went into, I said, let's go by the Ruger booth. I just want to go around and look, because really what I was looking for was the Security 9 Compact. I wanted to see it. And there were so many people in that booth. You could not even get to anything. I mean, you could not move. You couldn't get to any. And I never got back by there. But I wanted to see it. I think 22 Plinkster, to see somebody has one that I saw that was that had it on Instagram. I think it was 22 Plinkster. So I don't know. Unfortunately, I have no contacts at Ruger, which is fine. Nate at Gun Pro Deals, he'll send me something if I need it, or gunbuyer.com. John and Shannon, they are awesome. And I really do appreciate it, because they'll send me things for me to do a review on. I don't have to. Not that I'm going to. I mean, I think it was Nate at Gun Pro Deals sent the SIG P365 for me, and I ended up buying this from him. But it's great that they bring these things in so I can do it, and not necessarily because it's a SIG product. So it kind of gives me a little bit of a step out. And if anybody says that we're worried about being blackballed by the industry if we make a bad review, that's just hogwash, because if Glock won't send it to me, Nate at Gun Pro Deals will. And it's a lot better option. So, it's just one of those things. I mean, here's the thing, guys. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm not going to tell you a lie. I'm just not going to. I'm not going to hide anything. There's no profit in that at all. And so just not going to do it. That's not who I am. So, yes, we have a question.
Chase asked.
Hey, Chase.
My Henry 45 Colt is one of my favorites. Which caliber is yours and Sarah's favorite Henry?
I know which one mine is, but of course that 357 Magnum was the one you really loved. But yes. You have your 22 though too.
I do have the 22. I love my 22, but I don't know. I feel like a real cowgirl.
Well, you need 45 Colt then if you're going to be a real cowgirl.
I know, but I didn't say that I was. I just really? I actually felt like it. Like that just.
Y'all like that?
Sorry,
that scared me.
Well, but we were in the safest room in the house. But that one really I just
Right. Yeah, that 357. It's such you can feel the power coming out, but
yes.
But it's not a lot of recoil. Me personally, my lever action favorite is the 4570. I just love that big. It's slow moving and it's poof, but it's a satisfying poof. So, but really for the shorter, like the little carbine size, honestly, the 45 Colt, there's just something about it that I just love. So 45 Colt, that little case color hardened carbine, so handy, so handy. I love it. Yes.
Hey, Such and Sarah Mack, what's your favorite gun lube? I don't know.
Yeah, she's, she hasn't gotten into too much of that yet.
Not there yet.
Well, but the one that she uses is my favorite. And it is, okay, here's the thing, guys. There's a bazillion different kinds out there. There's some that's really good. I know Robbie has some that he just loves, and I can't remember the name of it. I use Break Free CLP. I know. I've just been using it for years. I use Ballistol. And I use Hoppy's number 9. Those are the things that I've been using forever. And so I love the smell. I just, so that's what I use. I've tried others, and there are some really good ones. But BCM, Paul Buffani at BCM, whenever he sends something or I get a new BCM, it's got the best smell though, period. And I asked him about what the lube was. He told me, and I don't remember, but that's a really exceptional lube. And then frog lube is funny, but I'll use frog lube on guns that are malfunctioning, especially smaller guns like mouse guns. And it seems to be, if it can be fixed, frog lube will do it. So I'm not saying that frog lube is a miracle, but it seems like that out of the lubes, that is one that just seems to make everything slick. So just kind of different.
Toad sweats.
Yeah.
Just kidding. JR 1888 says, do you see anything new from BCM? Or did you?
Well, BCM does not show at NRA. They do show at SHOT. No, didn't. BCM is just so solid though. I mean, and they're slow just to come up with a lot of stuff new, but the products they do have are just excellent. So I'm a huge fan of BCM, as many of you know.
One person said if it smells good, it's probably Weapon Shield.
Maybe.
And then Brad asked, did you get to meet Chuck Norris at NRA?
No, I wish. Chuck Norris was in the Glock booth, and there was a line that went forever and ever and ever, and people were standing in line for hours. And really, to get in, you had to buy a Glock T-shirt, which, hey, Glock was paying for him to be there. So it was pretty cool. That he was there, that he's part of Glock, that he was at the NRA. It's just cool. It was funny, though. I did have a chance to meet Donald Trump Jr., who is at the booth. Who's at the show. A lot of times you'll catch him. You'll maybe catch a glimpse of him. But I was in the Olight product renew event, the new product release event or whatever. And I was there, and the guy that was going to meet with him texted me, and I couldn't go. It was very difficult, but I was really hoping to meet him. But there are people you run into there. It's just amazing. I did run into Colonel Allen West, the former Florida House of Representatives. Oh man, he's one of my big heroes. He's one of my heroes. And there were a lot of other guys that just happened to spot here and there.
Who's that guy that's the big shooter, the older guy that you got a picture with in the field?
Oh yeah. Jerry, yeah. There are so many different, you just run into, of course, Hickok and John, you can't help but miss them. They're so tall, 6'8" and 6'9". But it's just a great event to go to. You see so many people there, and and it's cool because everybody thinks, we all have a lot in common, and a very good crowd. So, I just highly recommend it, guys, if you get a chance. Aside from the politics, aside from some of the things that are going on and the accusations or whatever, the meeting itself with all the vendors and everybody coming together, it's a great time, if it's ever in your area. So I guess, All right. So, guys, if you got some more questions, we're going to answer. If not, we're about ready anyway. So,
yeah.
Anyway, okay. So we've got a lot of things coming up. We just finished up the Desert Tech MDR 308 rifle bullpup, the testing. I've got to finish up the details, but we have shot a lot of rounds through that rifle. And I noticed that I've seen a couple of guys, I think it was Grand Thumb, had some issues with one. And so I was a little bit hesitant when I first got it. We did have some trigger reset issue. We did have a trigger reset issue up front, and Desert Tech fixed it. They fixed it right away. And so since then, we have been running that thing 308 small bullpup, and it shoots, honestly, to me like a 223, maybe a little more. But that is a cool rifle, but it's not cheap. But we're going to be looking at that, and we've got some other things that are coming up. Okay, so anyway, guys, again, we just really, really do appreciate everything you do, being a part, keeping us on board. I don't really promote the patrons, Patreon that much. I have a little banner thing, and people trickle in, people trickle off. But the you guys there, y'all are solid, and it just means a lot to us. Like I was saying a minute ago, or at the first of this the chat, is out of the last 4 videos I've uploaded, only 1 is monetized. And knowing that you guys are there, it means that 2.5 days that I put into that video is not just a wash. And so it means more than you know. It really does. And I just really thank you. So, and Sarah Mack thanks you, because really it does really pay for her salary. And so, and just huge. And I love interacting with you guys. I love it. And I'm glad that we're able to do this Patreon Monday night live chat to me. And guys, if you have some ideas, if there's some things you want to see, maybe some things you want us to discuss, leave it down in the comments once we make the video on Patreon. It'll be on, this is through YouTube that we're doing it now. So YouTube Live, it's an unlisted link. So really only you guys have the link. But what I'll end up doing is, so you guys can kind of interact, I'll go over to Vimeo, download it, and then you can get in there and answer questions. Or you can go right to YouTube. It is unlisted, so you're the only ones that are going to be able to see it, and y'all can get in there and comment if you want. So however you want to do it, I'll do it both ways. And but again, if you have some ideas or some things that you would like, and that's really why we're here, because we want to interact with you guys. There's some things you want to see, let me know, and we'll do what we can, do our best to make that happen. So again, Sarah Mack, thanks for all the help tonight. I mean, she put this whole thing together. I just came and showed up.
Yep.
And most of them are probably going, yeah, we can tell. So anyway, thanks guys again, and be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.